So I've started to record the Ultimate Sim challenge that I've been playing, and I thought I should probably do some kind of an intro for it before I start posting any kind of videos because I'm already partially into the challenge, so it's kind of awkward. So what is the Ultimate Sim challenge? It is a challenge by Landros. Here are the rules. I will link them below. He also played them um, on his challenge, looks like around up to season 6. And there's different seasons for each town. And I've been playing it under a story called Seasons Change, and I've been writing it on my blog. So we have, and I've been doing it for about a month. So we have 8 chapters for Sunset Valley, and then I played Riverview for season 2 for 10 chapters. And I am well, no, I guess you would say 6 chapters into Twinbrook, which technically these first 2 don't count as Twinbrook. It was like in between chapters. So my character is Anaia. And let's see. Got a picture. Okay, so this is Anaia, and she's my ultimate sim. She became a werewolf in her first, um, like she was in university for a couple days, and then she turned into a werewolf. So while she's at while she was in Sunset Valley, she had to get the business degree, um, go to the top of the daycare profession, do the business career, and then work part-time at the bookstore. And this 1 year is 4 months, or I mean 4 seasons, not 4 months. And then she had to get the charisma and social networking. She also worked on alchemy. So anyway, so here is a little bit of Anaia's shenanigans while she was in university. She had to get to the top of the rebel uh, group, and so she did a lot of the protests and things. And also, I wanted to do the protests, and there she is as a werewolf running with the umbrella. It was so funny. Uh, she had to do a lot of these protests because I wanted to get extra lifetime wish points so that she could get the traits that I wanted, like the meditative trance sleep. And she also did the blog for the social networking. She did 2, I believe, her first time there. Let's see what else. Anything exciting? I don't think so. Lots of pictures. So this is what I normally do. I just write the blogs, and it's basically a let's play in print, with screenshots. And then she did the daycare career first. This is the house that she bought in Sunset Valley, mostly bought with the money that she got from the when you ask for extra funds at the university. She had a roommate, and let's see, anything else. So this was her first student that aged up, Sandy. Not much else that I think is worth mentioning. She became friends with a few people. There's her second student, Sam, that aged up. She started working on the alchemy skill, lots of collecting because she needed to collect for the goals. And we need to finish collecting all of the collections by the end of the challenge, which this will end when she's gone through all of the different towns. Gosh, I'm not sure. Let me see if I can get to see. So it's 4 pages for the Ultimate Sim Challenge, and right now I'm on Landros's rules. Let's see, 3 and 4 is the last page. And the final destination ends up being World 19. And I get to pick where they live in the end. So yeah, it'll be 19 seasons then. Let's see. So not much happened until she met Ransom at the graveyard. And let's see what else. So she fell in love with the ghost Ransom. And this is her first student, Sandy. She aged to teen. And then now she's high enough in the career that she had actually child students, which became like absolute hell, and I hated it, and it was awful. There's Sam when he aged to teen. I thought this was hilarious. It was a zombie in a boxing outfit. She did the Weatherstone, and oh, it's so pretty when it was snowing. It's so neat. Let's see. Oh, and I came up with this idea of throwing the potions at the students to make them happy. It actually worked out pretty good. She went on vacation to Egypt so that she could get the chests for collections, because look at how much stuff she had collected. And then I only have to keep one of each item for the challenge. So she ended up just sending a bunch of stuff to get smelted, and then she cut a bunch of stuff at the elixir consignment store. So she made a lot of money. Like, yeah, here she sold 15,000 worth of simoleons, and she got finally her bedroom updated, and she went back to the graveyard to see Ransom. She had a little bit of a problem with one of the students, didn't want to come back. He was supposed to be staying with her over the weekend, but he ended up like traveling all over the neighborhood instead. Here's a little bit more of the romance between her and the ghost Ransom. That's Johnny Landgrab, one of the kids aging to teen. That's another one. That's Lizzie. She was the daughter of Cyclone Sword, and I thought she should have some kind of like a name that goes with the like internet persona. And crazily enough, having a relationship with Ransom, she ended up getting that Oh My Ghost opportunity. So she moved Ransom in. It was pretty cool. Let's see. So her and Ransom became a thing, and he was living with her, and it was pretty cool. Let's see, we got him a motorcycle. The thing is, he moved really slow. That's another one of the kids, Brian Alto. But like the ghosts move super, super slow, and they make this weird noise. And I never really noticed the noise much until now, because I wear headphones, and before I didn't. I played the game with speakers, and I always have a fan blowing on me. But so here Ransom started gardening and stuff so that he could make himself some ambrosia. She found some what's it called? I don't know why I always want to call it tanzanite, and I know it's not. Anyway, you know what it is. Uh, okay, so Ransom proposed to her right where they had met in the graveyard. Kind of an odd place to get engaged, but so here we go. Tiberium, that's what it's called. So yeah, she grew all that Tiberium, totally rich after that. let's see, she, instead of going from the daycare career to the business career, she did the bookstore clerk part-time in between that. They went to China on vacation and got married there in a little personal wedding, which I ended up messing up that lot completely by editing it to put in that thing, but that's beside the point. She got pregnant while they were on vacation, and here she had gone into the all-in-one in her roommate's room to vomit while holding her sandwich that she was eating for breakfast. So gross. Found out she was pregnant. She transfigured a bunch of stuff to make a gnome, because I have like a total obsession with gnomes. Ransom got abducted, and I said, oh my gosh, could you imagine if a ghost got alien pregnant? Well, guess what? He did. So yeah, she had her baby. And this is actually Ransom's great-grandson, Xander. Isn't that crazy? So, there is him. And now, okay, so you see him here. He's all skinny. And he's just a little bit bigger here and just a little bit bigger here. And then he's big here. And then look how big he got. So he was getting his death fish that he needed for the ambrosia, and there he's getting even bigger, and finally he went into labor, and look, he's all skinny again. It was crazy. So this one is Twyla, and this one is Lyra, and that's the roommate that's taking care of Lyra, because we had the intercom, and every time that the baby cried, I swear she would come running. So here's Ransom eating the ambrosia and becoming, I don't know, non-ghost. There's his family tree, which that was him and his, I guess, former wife. The odd thing about that, she had the same last name, but they weren't actually counted as husband and wife for some reason. And so they had this boy, and then he had Xander, and then he had another kid, which you'll see eventually. And then we had a whole mix-up with roommates, and it was just totally crazy. Let's see. Hopefully this recording doesn't end up being too long. So that's Twyla. And they went to get their picture taken, you know, the seasonal pictures at the park, and for some reason they didn't show up. So they went back in to get it done. And then for some reason, when they got back, Ransom's hair turned blonde. But I looked it up on the, you know, the webpage that has everything about the different Sims, and it said his hair color appears to be brown, but if you take him into cast, it will change to blonde. Well, I thought he looked really weird with blonde hair and a mohawk, so I changed his haircut. And then here they are. They got their pictures. And I think Twyla is just like a total mini-me of Anaia. It's just really weird. And then here's one of the roommates, because we had a total mix-up with the roommates. And here's Lyra when she aged up. And here's another roommate, because we were still having confusion with the roommates. Let's see. The aliens were just abducting us crazy. It was all the time. Here's Twyla as a child. And let's see. That's that roommate. And then we got Lyra as a child. Their fall picture. Just, you know, little cuties. This is Cyclone Sword's daughter, Simone. See how I spelled it? Just, you know, the festival stuff. And now we've got that's why I decided to name the thing Seasons Change, because every season things changed in the pictures and stuff. So we had the kids, and that was a lot of fun. Um, Unfortunately, the girls didn't get along very well. It was kind of disappointing, even though they were like a day apart. And Ransom caught some more deathfish and grew the life fruit so that Anaia could use it. She went to Paris, and she finally found the green swallowtail butterfly that I needed for the potion. But then when we got back, I couldn't find the tanzanite. Or I didn't have the tanzanite, so we had to go out and find the tanzanite. And then finally she was able to throw the youth potion at him and make him a young adult. Alrighty, so not much really happened. Here you can see that you can actually get the Tiberium right from this thing. You have to put in a certain amount of value and you get it back. And that's Ransom's little garden. I mostly had him growing things that she could use for her elixir potions. And that was our very last roommate that we had. Eventually, I just said enough with the roommates. And I decided we would, because I have to have roommates for one of the households through the whole household. But this time I had a lot of problems with it, which were caused by my own silliness. So, oh, I forgot to even show Twyla aged to teen. Well, anyway, there's Twyla as a teen. It's Lyra. I said I have to do that royal court thing at least once, you know, for the challenge. And so I had her do it. There's Lyra as a teen. And she mostly did nothing but painting. This was a boy that Twyla wanted to be friends with, and I invited him over, and he looked like this, so I gave him a quick makeover, and then as soon as I got out of Create a Style, he left, and then the girls left to go to their prom. And Lyra ended up being in a relationship with this guy after prom. Let's see, anything else exciting happen? My obsession with gnomes here. We were trying to get another gnome and we got an evil gnome. Da, 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 da. And then this is, well, there's another picture of them. This is Alexander Goth and Charlie Goth. I got Mortimer and what's her name? Bella? I got them pregnant and they ended up having twin boys. So we had Alexander and Charlie Goth was my first rotation when Sims 4 first came out. The one kid ended up being called Charlie Goth when I wasn't playing the household. So they just hung out with them and they played pool, and it was just kind of like a night out for everybody. Load. I think this is turning out to be a lot longer than I thought it would be. I didn't expect to go from page to page is what it was. Let's see. So I think she wanted to she wanted to invite that boy over that she had met at prom, and so they had a little short date, and she kissed him, had a first kiss, became boyfriend and girlfriend. They had an award ceremony at the school. She went and pranked the school and let a bunch of frogs in the last day before she grew up. Well, not we did. I don't have graduation um turned on because I have problems with it. But see, this is the girls were fighting. I'm really disappointed that they're not friends. And her boyfriend aged up before her, so that's her and Aldo, and that was her birthday. So there's Twyla grown up. And I was saying that the only difference between her and Anaia is her face shape, and it looks like she got it from Ransom. It's like the only thing that she got from Ransom. Oh, and here I was really happy because we had a baby gnome, which was really exciting. And Twyla got a job at the hospital. Lyra wanted to I don't know if this is the right part, but Lyra had that boy. There's Lyra. She aged up to young adult by herself because I forgot about her birthday. I'm a horrible person. Um, Ransom got the opportunity to get the eggs and cheese, so he got those plants. This is those two together. Him doing that silly stride of pride right behind her dad. I was like, oh my gosh. And then they were on a date and they're all sweet. Our first gnome died. And then this was the last day of the last summer that they were there. I just sent them to a little beach to have a little bit of fun with the family. This is Lyra meeting her alien mother, who it turns out she looked just like. I think that's about it for that. I just have like at the end of the chapters just kind of like the blooper type things. So that's what that is. And I think this next one's the last one. So yeah, Lyra, that boy that she was supposedly a romantic interest with from the prom, she had never seen him after that. And then I had a thing in the Noras mod that does different personalities. Well, the Slayer or whatever personality cured all of the werewolves but one. So I was really upset about that. So I was trying to get him to help me with the storm thing, but he ended up leaving before it started. So then her boyfriend ended up, he was working at the food stand too. So I ended up having her move him in. They got engaged. It didn't end up working out between her and the boy from prom because they had 3 incompatible traits. And Ransom was able to grow the hamburger and steak plants. That was really cool. Twyla discovered that she was pregnant. Lyra got a letter in the mail from Charlie Goth that he had a crush on her, so she sought him out and talked and flirted, and they ended up getting together. Now, this was crazy. Aldo, Twyla's fiance at the time, got abducted by Lyra's mother, and I'm like, what would, even if he got pregnant, what relation would that baby be, like half sister / cousin or something? And here's where I started actually finishing renovating the house. See, here's what it looked like before, and then I did all this down there that day. And here's where Lyra moved Charlie in with his dog, and they all got their final picture taken for Sunset Valley. And these two got married. Charlie ended up having that bot thing that's Anaia on one of the guys' motorcycle. And they went to go and have the baby, and these two got engaged. So she had a little girl. I named her Sunny, or like Sunset Valley Sunny. And then we got a bunch of pictures, photo booth pictures and stuff. This is Anaia at her final day in the business career before they moved. And this, I wanted to age up Sunny so that we would have her in the final picture. So they went and got a picture all together so that Ransom and Anaia could take it with them when they went to Riverview. So this is them saying goodbye and getting ready to go to Riverview. And this is just the update on all of the different kids that she had in daycare. So then they went to Riverview, but after they got to Riverview, they went to university. So this is them at university. I ended up giving them makeovers, so this is them with their new makeovers. It took a little while to get used to. I don't know why this picture isn't loading. Oh, here it is. So we met a lot of people and got some friends. These were the goals for Riverview. Fine arts degree. She had to get the top of the culinary career, the painter career, and the part-time spa receptionist career. She had to get the cooking, painting, street art, and guitar skills and get as much as those skill challenges done as she could. So, mostly we spent the time at university meeting different occult sims to move to Riverview with us because I really wanted occults at Riverview. And this is, it was, Anaia didn't actually spend a lot of time with Ransom while they were at university. They just didn't have much time together. It's her being the ultimate sim. She's kind of busy, doing all kinds of different stuff and working on all these different skills. It's kind of overwhelming. I thought this was like the funniest outfit. Oh my gosh. As crazy the outfits that the game comes up with, or like she's the Sim Finder app to find people, and this lady with the cone on her head, oh my gosh, so funny. She had this I can't speak. She had this wish to get 2 degrees, and it was for 17,000 points. And so what she ended up doing is she did the protests to get extra points, and then she took the wish serum from the alchemy station to get extra points. So she ended up getting like, I don't know, 40,000 points or some crazy number like that. So this is the girls at their graduation ceremony and them getting ready to go back to Riverview. And they got to Riverview and met a bunch of people. And before that, though, we moved in a lot of occults, which I later regretted moving so many occults. See, this is everybody that we moved in. And they just overpowered the town. This was their house that they moved into. It was like the yellow monstrosity. Everything was yellow. It was blah. I hated it. So they just went around meeting everyone, becoming friends with everyone. They became good friends with Lucky Perkins. And you'll see a little bit about him later. Now, I didn't realize until after they got home, all there was is one bathroom with just a toilet and a tub, and the house, even though it looks really large from the outside, ended up being very small. I did a little bit of upgrading with it then. I just wasn't in the mood to do all these renovations that needed to be done for that house. We had the Woohooium. I think that is so cool. It later got stolen. So she kept getting promoted. Ransom did his garden at this house too, because I was just kind of like, what do I do? Oh, here, Yuri tried to flirt with her, and she was like, oh, hell no, what you doing flirting with me? Ransom kept getting abducted, and I was terrified he was going to get pregnant again. They both wanted to complete another degree. Let's see. So we were just working on her different skills. This is the building that I had downloaded for the glass blowing station thing, but I mostly use it to melt the metals instead of sending them in. So Ransom, to stay young adult, ate some ambrosia. This is the alchemy room that I made. I love this elixir cabinet. I think it's like just the coolest thing. Oh, here's the painting little alcove that I made. And let's see. So yeah, she had to learn guitar. So we did that. He got abducted again. I mean, he got abducted like 5 times. So I ended up changing the abduction chance in the returner settings for Naras. They ended up inheriting things from Lucky Perkins before he died, so they went to like say thank you to him, and then just as they were leaving the movie theater, he was getting ready to go into the movie theater and he died, and both of them wanted to resurrect him, and they would get 11,500 happiness for doing that. So I was like, heck yeah, let's do it. So she did the oh my ghost type thing, and you know, added his ghost to the family. Ransom made some ambrosia and he ate it and he came back to life, and then she threw the youth potion at him, so that's him as a young adult with his makeover that I gave him. And then they bought him his house back, and so I thought that was pretty cool. Anaia can't go swimming, at least at that point, because she couldn't get athletic skill. So Ransom just went swimming at the pool that I had updated. This is what she did with all of her street art. And they got robbed, and the guy stole the woohoo. Yes, he stole it. I was so upset. Let's see, anything else exciting happened? Oh, so I don't think I took a picture of it, but I had gotten this notification that this lady was about to die and that her cat got sent to somebody's house. And I went and looked at the cat because its picture was so cute. Look at it, it's adorable. That's Binks. So the cat was so cute, and I was like, you know what? I want that cat. So I went back to the last time I had saved and had him go and talk to the lady and get the cat. So that's Binks. And Binks is just socializing with some cats while they were at the festival. And then I got this notification that this guy had adopted a kitten called Evil Genius, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Evil Genius, I gotta get that cat. So I sent Ransom over there and asked him if he could have the cat, and so he adopted he adopted the cat from the guy, I forget his name off the top of my head. So that's Evil Genius, and this is just him or Anaia going to a party, because the parties they're always end up being swimsuit parties for some reason, and that's just them dancing. And that's Binks trying to look through the window. I said the window's too short, and there's Binks with little Evil Genius, and then Evil Genius aged up. Oh, the cutest cat. He looks kind of... Oh, and then I was trying to give the paparazzi different crazy outfits, because she, I enabled celebrity once she got the celebrity chef, in the, you know, cooking career. And so I thought, well, I'll just give all of the paparazzi silly outfits, but it kept changing the paparazzi every time, so it didn't really work. So they went on vacation to China, or is this Egypt? Sorry. They went on vacation to actually all of the different worlds eventually so that she could get the different recipes for the different lands, because she had to learn all the cooking recipes for the skill challenge for cooking. So, what I wanted to do is they kept going into the catacombs there at the different graveyards so that I could try to get the gnomes for the different places. And it's just the cats playing, them being at another party in their swimsuits, and it's snowing. It's just totally crazy. Him fighting, or her fighting and getting a chip bag, which I thought looked like Skittles wrapper. He had by then gotten the Omni plant, and when I was when I hit feed, it gave the option to feed it a teddy bear that he had got, and so I fed it the teddy bear, so that was the result. And then I let him go to the gym because he wanted to get some athletics skill, and so finally I got to like see the gym that I had gone through all the trouble of upgrading. I put in this restaurant that I downloaded, I think it was from my Sim Realty, and for some reason I can't get these ovens to work right. It just keeps replacing the chefs every single time. And this is just them dancing because she had a um opportunity for the celebrity thing to dance, but she has like no dancing skill at all. And another gnome died, very sad. And this is just, I went into build mode so we could see what gnomes were left and what they were doing. And there's a pile of trash, probably from the evil gnome that put it over there. Let's see. Oh, and I had finally done some more upgrading to the house, so that's the living room. The living room before was just like so ugly and yellow. Everything's yellow, and this is, she met Hunter Cotton Eye. He had the nightmare from the evil gnome. The festival, and upgrading the microwave with the hammer, and I ended up getting Bonehilda again because I couldn't figure out what it was that was dirty in the house. And my Simfests were bugged, and they would all act like there was somebody there, but nobody would be there. And let's see, she was still working on her street art skill and the street art skill challenges. He was catching some deathfish, and just our cute little evil genius just being absolutely adorable. Love that cat. I lost her grave. I'm so upset. So okay, they went, oh wait, I'm not at that part yet. I was complaining about the horses getting stuck places and explaining why, with register, I ended up turning off horses. We got some more things transfigured to get some more gnomes, because you can only have the baby gnomes if you have 2 regular gnomes. Let's see, another day at the festival, another picture of gnomes, because like I said, I'm obsessed with gnomes. And so they went back to China so that she could get the recipe books. Once again, I was complaining about the horses. This guy was like a creeper. He like came in, was watching them sleep. This is just ransom fishing. I managed not to get him burnt that time, but they both got like a total suntan. They were both trying to get the gnome from, the China gnome. She did end up finding it right before they left. And then they got home, and the game kept crashing every time that they got home, and it was all kinds of problems. And finally, I did get it to work, but then I got notifications from a bunch of things that was supposedly happening in Sunset Valley. So they ended up going back to Sunset Valley on vacation, and I aged up Sunny. So that's Sunny aging up, and just the family. And let's see. And then I had Lyra and Charlie have a baby, and that's Dana, which was actually what the um, game suggested. And I thought Dana actually goes really good with Sunny. So that's Dana. I aged her up to toddler just to see what she would look like because they weren't staying long. I was just there mostly to test things out and get a couple more pictures. So she went to ballet and did a couple plies and stuff, and I just got some, cute pictures. And this is Ransom's great grandson Antonio. And as the story goes, while Ransom was there and seeing his grandchildren and great grandchildren and everything, he started changing his mind about the path that he was on with Anaia. And here is Sunny and Dana. And here's our kitties that I didn't know they could both eat out of there at the same time, so I thought that was pretty cool. And I tried making a koi pond, and it came out horribly. And there's our cutie evil genius and Banks and the bird flying over here, but we lost the bird. Um, this was Bonehilda being a creeper, looking at a picture while they were about to woohoo. And at this time, Anaia was in the painter career, and I didn't realize I had all these paintings still in the garage, so I did that, and she was just doing that, and she was doing guitar opportunities at the same time, and she had found this expensive book in the catacombs, so he sold that. Let's see, and then they adopted. And we'll go to the next chapter and you can see who they adopted. This is turning out really long, but hey, if you watch this and you know what's going on. Okay, so they adopted, and this is Eldrick, and this is Didrik. And that's their little room. And those bassinets got stuck there, and I had to use NRAS debug enabler to put them into the family inventory. So there's our cuties there. And then he wanted to go and do a protest, but it was raining or hailing actually. So Anaia got that thing. And there's them. I don't know why I wanted to get them like all of the toddler skills and everything. So there's their what would it be, year 2 summer picture. And they went to the library because you get the speed learning, and it's like the smallest library in the world. And there's our cuties while mom and dad were sleeping, and the kitty yowling along while she did her guitar. It's so repetitive with the instruments. You're just like playing the instruments over and over and over again. I think this is the cutest thing ever. And I forgot that they can play in the sand, so I was like, oh man, this is the only thing they can do at the park. So I ended up bringing them home. And it would have popped up saying that they didn't know enough people, or they didn't have enough acquaintances to get their charisma skill higher. So I brought them out so that they could meet some people, but it never did get their charisma skill any higher. And here's Didrik, and here's Eldrick as children. And we had the bunk beds, but after a few days I got rid of them because they were sleeping like all the time. And then they were coming home from school and going to sleep. They had the tabcast things, so they did that. We ended up getting that thing for the cats, and I ended up bringing that with them to Twinbrook. They were so busy they didn't really have time to like have kids over or anything, so they were just talking on the phone with them. And yeah, here's when I got them the regular beds, because they were taking naps every day after school, so it was just completely pointless. And I was just freaking out because I was getting lag and I was deleting things. There's like a blooper of what it looked like when Eldrick came out of the bassinet. Our baby, poor baby. So yeah, I like my little bloopers, but it's nice doing videos because, you know, the bloopers are part of the video. You don't have to have them as a separate section. Although it would be kind of cool just to like have just a bloopers video. That might not be bad. I don't know why it's taken so long to load. Okay, so let's see. Okay, and that's about the time that I kept seeing this dog like everywhere they went, and it's just the coolest looking dog, and I thought this was really pretty. So they were playing tag. They went to the festival, and this guy that they had been friends with, he was one of their roommates or dorm mates or whatever in university. He was getting in a fight with that. I think the guy's named Dallas. Oh, yeah, it's down here. Dallas Shallow. The guy that they adopted Evil Genius from. So we got our fall picture there. I think it's the year 2 picture. And they were both trick-or-treating, and then Anaia was off checking out a party and seeing if it was any good. And then I looked, and Ransom was over here flirting with this werewolf lady who's married to their best friend from university that was their dorm mate. So I was like absolutely livid. Had him take the kids to the pool. They got robbed yet again, but I had these alarms in a couple different places. And she was so goofy, she came through the other door, ran through the house to look at the alarm. And the cats, I swear, if the a police officer didn't get them, the cats were gonna get him, or her. So then, I had Ransom take the boys out to eat, but he went home alone and didn't bring the boys with him. The next day they went fishing, and she's still working on that street art. That was a really hard skill challenge. Not really hard, but it took a really long time for me to get it finished with all the other things I was trying to work on. Here the boys were doing the different collections quests for school. And I ended up thinking long and hard about it after his little flirting. And I decided that after he had gone back to Sunset Valley with Anaia, Ransom realized that he had changed himself to be with Anaia, and it's not the person that he really wanted to be. So I used the personality or not scrambler, but I used the personality changer thing in this one of her, not university, one of her toddler daycare students when they grew up gave her this thing in the mail. So he used that to change his personality back to what it was when they met, because I had changed it to like fit good with Anaia. This was after one of the boys had a scout thing, so they went out to eat after their award ceremony, and she's still doing that walkway. This is Evil Genius aging to Elder, so we somehow missed Binks aging to Elder. And so then I was starting to get torn over whether Anaia should be using the ambrosia, since it was everything for it was stuff that only Ransom could get. And then once it was snowing, she needed another place to do her street art. Oh, and I had the not Lothario. What's it called? It was one of the personalities, Casanova. I had the Casanova personality from Naras in, and Don Lothario was the Casanova, and he had all these kids. It was just crazy, and I kept trying to stop him from having kids, and he kept still having kids, and it was crazy. There's no other way to put it but crazy. He just kept having more and more and more kids. And I tried not to have many more kids. Okay, so I also changed Ransom's lifetime wish back to what it was when he met Anaia, which was the forensics detective thing. So he got a job in the police career. And this is Eldrick playing with that girl that they were at the pool with. And Ransom decided that he didn't want to be a young adult. I mean, the whole thing was Anaia was having him do that. So it wasn't something that I felt was really his choice. Okay, so we went to the second scout ceremony, and it was like really pushing time for them to get home in time, because I think it's like 9 o'clock p.m. The game will automatically age them up. So they were trying to get into the door, and the cats greeted them at the door and were like rolling around trying to get attention, and they couldn't get inside. So Didrik ended up aging up on the porch. Eldrick did get inside, but I missed seeing him age up because he went around the back with Anaia, and they went in the back door. So here they are, aged up to teen, and these are Didrik's traits. These are Eldrick's traits. This is Ransom digging in the trash so that he can write reports for work. And that's the last mural she did inside the little art gallery. She's still not practicing, but she does, you have to play them over and over and over again to get better at playing the guitar and get better tips. So that's what she was doing. And he wanted to learn how to drive, and Ransom had just got the police car, so I thought, oh, wouldn't it be funny if he taught him how to drive on the police car? Well, instead, he hopped on his bike. Ransom just stood in the road, and he was just riding his bike, and it was making the noises. I actually have a video. I should post it. So, this is just the boys hanging out, and we kept getting trick-or-treaters at, like, all times of the year. I had it happen in Sunset Valley, too. It was really weird. And everybody went to the sports complex to watch a game, but Ransom didn't go with them. He just stayed back and was skating instead of going with the family. I don't know why he didn't leave. And this was that girl, I think her name was Melinda. Yeah, Melinda, that Eldrick was friends with. And I thought that they would probably get together, but they didn't. And she makes the weirdest faces when she plays the bass, so I really don't like the bass. And then with the snow outside, and there was no room in the art gallery, so she did a mural there in the consignment store. And then I saw this adorable, isn't that the coolest looking puppy, just like in the middle of the road. This was just a blooper from when he was riding the bike learning to drive a car. So funny. Okay, I think no, there's one more chapter after this. Okay, so this is just them as teenagers. This is the woman, she aged to adult after Ransom flirted with her, so that this is her, and she was complaining to Anaia, so I was wondering if she was complaining about Ransom flirting. And what's this lady? Hannah Jones, she had a request, and she was really good friends. They were like best friends, her and Anaia. So, she had a request for her, and Anaia went to her house to get the, gravestones and urns that are at the Jones house, and then they went to prom, and, Didrik got, this girl was his girlfriend, and she made the ambrosia and brought all of, Hannah Jones's family back to life. And there they all are, and here they are, taking the ambrosia and everything. And then I put them I separated them from my household, put them into the household with the Jones, and when I looked to see where they were all standing like that. It was so creepy. And then Binks had enough points to get the potion of youth for kitties. And it was good because one of his litter mates died like that day. So, I mean, he could have died that day. Um, and then Evil Genius went into the science facility and cloned herself. So we had Little Genius. And let's see, anything else? And then this dog had these cute puppies, which were the puppies of that dog that I saw like everywhere. And here's when I updated the house and I added a bunch, I added like right here onto the house. And it was like 2 rooms, and then I expanded the deck. And let's see. And that's that girl after I gave her a mini makeover that he was like friends with. Or I mean, um, not girlfriend, but like romantic interests. And Eldrick thought that maybe he might be good with this girl, but apparently he wasn't. And that's Little Genius aging up, which, you know, she's identical to Evil Genius. And that is his first kiss. And let's see, there they aged up to young adult. And our one boy that had the romantic interest rolled on flirty, so I was not happy. And this dog is so funny. Isn't it adorable and it cute? And this was evil Little Genius aging up. Okay, and this would be the last Riverview chapter. And this is turning out a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. I'm losing my voice. Okay, so let's see. The boys got jobs. Eldrick got a job at the sports stadium. Didrik got a job at the science career. Ransom was still working on the law enforcement. I just thought this was funny that zombie more Tiberium. And let's see. It's just random pictures. Okay, so instead of having Anaia take the or eat the ambrosia, I had her take one of the youth potions so that she could roll back to the beginning of the young adult stage. And the thing that sucked about that, though, is it ended up changing some of her clothes, so I wasn't very happy about that. And there's Evil Genius with Little Genius. And this is all the money that she got from selling a bunch of stuff. As we were getting ready to leave Riverview. This dog had these puppies, and then the dog that I thought was so funny looking had puppies, so, or had a puppy. It was this puppy. And then I was having like really bad lag, and I realized that this household was in this like 1 bedroom house with like 5 or 6 dogs and a baby. So I ended up moving them into this mansion. And I thought this dog, Tiger Lily, looked so freaking cool. And then I aged up the dog that was this one's puppy, and I thought, oh my gosh, Moonshine, that is such a cool dog. And this is just the dogs that when I saw them one day running down the street. Just the guys working on their careers, getting promotions. You know, everything's just winding down. That was their final summer picture. And let's see. I had Anaia like stocking up on the Vial of Bliss and other things, all of the different potions. Let's see. I thought this was so creepy. All these dogs just hanging out in the graveyard. And this lady with her baby hanging out in the graveyard. That was weird too. If you know. Let's see. Did you know that the vampire gnomes can turn teddy bears into vampire gnomes? I have like 4 of them now. Because Ransom kept getting the vampire gnomes. And then Evil Genius died. And we could have restored her, to a ghost. But what I wanted to do was take her urn with us to Twinbrook, and I thought it would be cool, having the ghost cat haunting and stuff. Well, when I got to Twinbrook, I couldn't find the urn. I don't know if I left it in Riverview or what happened. So we went to this guy's house, and we got the two dogs that I liked. So there's Tiger Lily, and then there's Moonshine, and we left the cats with the boys. So then Anaia and Ransom went, because when she brought that family back to life, she had been talking to Ransom about how it was sad that that one ghost was a child, and he said there was a ghost child at the graveyard that he used to be at. So she said, well, let's go, before we go to Twinbrook, to Sunset Valley. I want to get, resurrect that ghost child. And Ransom, once they got there and he pointed out where the grave was, he said he didn't want to go with her. He wanted to grow old and spend time with his grandchildren and his great-grandchildren and everything. So he stayed there. I used the relationship transmogrifier app to make them best friends instead of husband and wife. And so she resurrected Opal, or added her to the family, and then resurrected her. And then both of them used the instant witch elixir, or whatever it's called, to become witches. I don't think there's much in the extras that I didn't just talk about, but let's look really quick. I know this is getting very long. So I was just explaining here of everything that happened. And the first time around, I took them straight to university from Sunset Valley, and I had some problems. So this is just the things that happened while they were at university. Like, I had put some not so good looking Sims in my bin, and almost everybody that the game made was really ugly. And I used this crystal ball thing with the roommates, like I had seen Landros doing in his the Let's Play, and it ended up really bad because the roommates ended up hating little Opal and getting in fights with her, and it was just crazy. Here's just random pictures from the last chapter. I thought this was so cool. It's just random things from the last chapter that I didn't use. And what I had decided to do, which actually I'd meant to do from the beginning, was to change Anaia's traits each town to go with her kind of new personality that she would have each town. So I gave her traits that would go good with the careers that she would have. I decided she was going to be a little bit more of a risk taker, a little bit kind of crazy, not wild, really, just kind of off balance or whatever. So she got that, and I decided to leave most of the money with the boys at Riverview. This is me talking about how much I hate the leaf piles and how I have fixed the leaf piles. I have like a total obsession with the leaf piles. I don't know why. I hate it. They get all stinky, and then people play in them, and it's disgusting. Why do they do that? Okay, so I was just talking about all of the different things that I thought were causing lag in my game, because Riverview near the end was like really laggy. Well, what it ended up turning out to be was two different things. I was gonna change colors, or no, copy two umbrellas that had gotten bad, they had broken. And so I put them on the ground, and then after I did that, they disappeared. Well, they were still there, and they were like blocking the entryway, sort of. And then I also had these things called jigs, and I had a bunch of cat jigs. and they're like invisible things. So this is just where I read that, yeah, it's okay to delete the jigs, and actually it says unused abandoned jigs can interfere with routing and end up blocking Sim's access. So between those umbrellas and the jigs, that's pretty much what was causing a lot of my problems. So he says here not to delete the rabbit hole jigs, and I just took a picture to show everybody what the rabbit hole jigs are. And this is just me saying that when I did that, I figured out how to get rid of the leaf piles, and then that this is another cause of lag, where the dogs had gotten ported into a flower bed that they couldn't get out of. And if you don't have Overwatch, you wouldn't even know that that had happened. And then this is just me showing the different lots that I added to Twinbrook. Some of them, they were made mostly by, let's see what this person named, Comet 65. So I added all of their lots, and then I got this lot. It says it's by Pink Rabbit, and that's my festival lot. It's kind of small, and I added a bunch of things. I watched Landros. He made a video on how he updated some things in Twinbrook, so I did that, and he mentioned that he used this amphitheater or whatever it is to make it a broom arena, so I ended up doing that. And this is just some lots that I took from some different worlds. I took lots from our Furlong, I don't know how you say that, Pangea and Legacy Island 3, My Sim Realties, Meadow Glen and Storybrooke County, and Heaven's Greymont Bay. I've actually never played Greymont Bay. I downloaded it and completely forgot I had it. But these are the different lots that I added from the different places. And then I downloaded this, I think, from the Sims resource. And I got, I think, this and this from Mod the Sims. And then I was talking about how you can't add lots to Ella Charmed Fixed Worlds, because you get this weird thing where the grass goes over the road. And I tested it and tested it and tested it, and you just can't do it. You cannot. And then I was showing how some of the lots are really weird, but I tested it and they will just walk over it as if it's not like that. So yeah, I just like avoid. Oh, I never put the link for 3.1. So we're almost caught up though. Almost. I'm over an hour into this. I'm sorry, and I'm totally losing my voice doing this. And I've been sick, so that doesn't help. Okay, so this is her. We didn't end up doing that time at university. I went back to the time when she was at Sunset Valley and had just resurrected Opal, and from there we went to Twinbrook. And so this is when they got to the house in Twinbrook, and this is mostly before I had done any upgrading of the house. All I had done was actually about this room here. So they went and she got a makeover, and it was really cool at first, but then they just kept giving her the same clothes over and over again, and I ended up doing it myself. I had Opal get one outfit, but it didn't save. So this time she went, and there's where she met Taurus. He's a werewolf, and I ended up bringing him to the Twinbrook eventually. But yeah, Opal went with her this time to the university world, and again, it didn't work out. These are two of our roommates, and they end up being roommates when we go to Twinbrook as well. So let's see, we have Tanisha, Caitlin, and Deshawn. And I was supposed to have Opal, and there's her just trying to get her magic skill up. And I was trying to get Opal to go to boarding school, but it wasn't working. But I had to change some settings. But changing those settings, I think, ended up messing it up, so it didn't work right for Anaia being in university. So I had tested all this out, but I guess I didn't test it right. Um, I really liked Deshaun, and every time but he had the mean-spirited trait, and he kept being mean to the other roommates. And every time that I dismissed him, he came back the next day. So I ended up looking for the personality thing and having her toss that at him, but it didn't take the mean-spirited trait away. It took something else. And that's just Hugo's the guy. That it was like the first guy that she had like high chemistry or attraction, whatever, with. This is another lot that I added. It's University Festival grounds. This girl was her roommate the first time around, Malia, and so she was there. I had saved her to the bin so that I could add her again. She was doing the mind meld, and she learned some broom riding skill from that witch. That's funny. He's a witch. I didn't even see him when I was adding witches to Twinbrook. Huh. Okay, so she was just doing, some magic. She wanted to do a fire and, ice spell, so she put it out. And then, she found another personality adjuster spell at the elixir consignment store that I had added, and she was trying to see if she had taken away that mean-spirited. Obviously, she did not. I was really happy that she got that butterfly that she needs to make the youth elixir potion. And this is just her meeting people with that Sim Finder app, and she was like fixing up different people. This is a frat party that she went to that everybody was supposed to dress in bathing suits, but nobody else showed up. It was just the guy that invited her, so I think he had some other ideas. So yeah, it ended up that by the end of the week, it was like Saturday, and I realized that I had only sent Anaia there for, or signed her up for 1 week, and she was still not finished with university. So I brought Opal back from the, whatchamacallit, boarding school. I sold her fourth blog. We went back to Twinbrook. Opal aged up. I cheated Anaia the credits that she would have gotten. Here's our piggy doggies peeing while Opal's aging up. There's Opal as a teen. Opal went back to boarding school, and we went, instead of going on vacation to university, we actually signed up for university for 2 weeks from Twinbrook and went there, like you normally would. So hopefully I wouldn't have the problems. She met this guy, I think his name is Vivek, and I thought his hair was so cool, and even looking at him in cast without that hair, he was just neat looking, and I thought he was just, it went with that goofy, eccentric vibe that I felt like Anaia had now. She kept getting these wishes to kiss people, and I was like, yeah, sure, you want to kiss people? Go ahead and kiss people. That was one of her roommates, a vampire, really liked him. He was pretty funny. Oh, and this girl, I guess I didn't do the links. And this girl, she was a plant sim, so I left her with the weird skin and hair. We're almost there. We're almost to the end. An hour and 12 minutes in. We're almost to the end. Okay. So, finally, we're done with university. We're in Twinbrook. I already did a video that actually goes over all of the, the house tour of the house. This is her greeting her puppies. One of them went pee, and she told Moonshine, good boy, and it turned out that he got rid of the piggy trait for that, so that was awesome. She joined the firefighter career, and I did all of that stuff to the house that's in the house tour. Let's see. So she went around and met some people, collected some scrap. Malia and a couple of the other old roommates moved in with her, and this is just her doing a disaster at the Scrumptious Nibbles Cafe, and telling Tiger Lily that she's a good girl, upgrading the doorbell with a hammer on the stained glass. finishing the science thing. So she had, or is it called, no, it's not science, it's just called potions. It's kind of confusing. So, yeah, she got the last of that and got the Master Chemist skill challenge done. Tiger Lily lost her piggy trait. And we made 7,000 in rent from the roommates, which I thought was cool. Bonehilda started her obsession with training the pets, which I thought was cool at first, but ended up not being very cool. We went to the thrift store and shockingly found the troglodyte gnome, which I did a story called Gnome Crazy where I tried to get all of the different gnomes and I could not find that. We ended up going in the past twice and getting 2 different children, 2 different orphans, and we never got that troglodyte. I mean, he was going constantly. And this is one of the buildings that, it's a disco. And there's just our babies greeting her. And this is one of our roommates, Deshaun, which we totally scrambled all of his traits by keeping on throwing the personality adjusters at him, and I felt bad for him, so he moved in with her. And she ended up inviting Darren, which was one of her guys that she was trying to decide on. So she ended up picking Darren, and she invited him, and there's a beautiful unicorn. And we ended up moving Darren in faster than I had planned because he was about to freeze to death and I couldn't get her to bring him back to the house. So yeah, this is, and poor Deshaun, he had gotten abducted and he ended up getting pregnant. So that kind of sucked. And this woman showed up like a couple hours later as a new roommate. And I'm like, oh, hell no, because we already had another roommate picked out that we had, already in university. She was one of them. And we ended up, okay, in Sunset Valley, we had the one to complete 2 degrees. In Riverview, we had one to complete 3 degrees that took up a whole space in the wish, in the wish panel. And now we had one to complete 4 degrees. But I can't stand to not use up that wish spot because it's 30,000. And think about how many that is with the wish serum. 60,000. So there's just a couple things, and that's the link to the house tour. And actually have one more chapter after that that isn't, whatchamacallit, it hasn't gone through yet, but I will wait because you know what, it is over an hour into this, and I think that is good enough. So I'll have one chapter that'll be publishing after this, and then most everything after that will be videos. So now you got your introduction to Anaia and the Ultimate Sim, and I hope that kind of gets you caught up to where we are now. The only thing that really happens in the next chapter is her getting the fire chief, and I think that's about it, and she gets engaged to Darren. So yeah, I'm gonna stop here, and if you decide to watch the upcoming videos, I'd appreciate it. But if not, well, thanks for at least watching this, because it was probably really boring. Alright, bye. You thought I was done? Nope, I'm not done, because guess what? I skipped a chapter. I was wondering when I was going over it why it just kind of skipped right to her moving Darren in, and like, where was Darren in the chapters? Okay, so in the last chapter at the end, she had met Vivek, and I had thought he was like really cool and everything. I think I was mystified by the purple hair is what it was. Anyway, he didn't like children. She turned him into an ice statue, and she just started like trying to meet other guys. So she did all of that. Let's see. Let me find. Okay, so this is where she met Alex, and this is where she met Darren, and she had like instant chemistry with Darren, and she wanted to kiss him. But I was like, I don't know, maybe we should, still shop around. And I was like trying to get the attraction score higher, and like you can like brush their teeth and do a bunch of different stuff, and like get the attractive trait and stuff to make people like you more. So she met Venkat, I have the name there, and Edmund. Oh, and this is when she scrambles up poor Deshawn's personality. I was wondering, I didn't even show that, and then all of a sudden, I'm talking about her doing it. This was Tommy the fairy when she met him. And what she did, the Naras Woohooer has a option that you can do scan room like you can in Sims 2. So I had her invite like all of the guys plus a couple other people, random people showed up. And so she invited everybody to a party, and so she could do the scan room. And so this is just the different guys, and Venkat didn't even show up at the party. He just like he put on his bathing suit and then walked off. So this is just pictures. And poor Deshawn ended up being a zombie. This ended up being the results. You have to get over 100 to get that attractive score. But so as you can see, Darren was at the top. Bernardo was the guy that basically the only trait that I really liked was he had that dog lover or whatever it's called in Sims 3. This guy asked her on a date, and it's actually the first time anybody's ever asked her on a date, so I sent her even though I wasn't really interested in him. He had really boring traits. And like I said, I just wanted somebody that, was kind of interesting, kind of eccentric and goofy for her. Because, this time around I felt like she's just kind of goofy. Here she sold her second blog that she had done during that time at university. So she finished all of the goals, challenges for that social networking skill, and then she threw a bunch of potions at people that randomly were hanging around, and finished the alchemist skill challenge. So she's done with all of those. Darren was in there playing guitar, and she was watching him for a while. The reason why we didn't go for Darren at first was because he had the flirty trait. And let's see. In Landros's videos, he made it sound like this interview thing was so great. Well, some random person had just left it on the sidewalk, so I was trying to get her to interview people, but it didn't work out as well as Landros made it sound. So here she's making some more of those personality adjuster potions that we messed up poor Deshawn with. She threw one at Darren, and he lost that flirty trait, which was the reason we didn't want to be with him. And he gained party animal, which I think is a pretty good trait, kind of goes with her craziness. Bernardo lost a boring trait, got another boring trait. Alex lost the only trait that I really liked for him. Edmund, like I said here, I have no idea. So she ended up going, you can go to the matchmaker at the spa. So this was the end score for everyone. But apparently you can get a higher score with people if she knows all their traits. So I invited a bunch of the guys to this bowling alley where somebody had left that interview thingy, and I had her interview. So she interviewed Bernardo, and it didn't really change the score. She invited Edmund, and he said he was too busy, but he was just standing around in this building in the student lounge, or not lounge, the student building. She brought Alex and Darren there, and she learned all of Darren's traits. Alex, she started interviewing him, and he slapped her, so yeah, that's not happening. And she invited the kids to the graduation after she found some more monarch butterflies to do personality adjuster. I decided to try one last time to get rid of that hates children trait from, or dislikes children or whatever, from Vivek. And then this fairy guy, he had some kind of a trait that he didn't like. But you know what? She didn't like. But you know what? I'm glad she didn't get the fairy, because they live a really long time. And that was the whole reason that I didn't go for the vampire guy too. I think his name's Ronald. We tried Vivek again because we just had a random extra potion, so we threw it at him, but it still didn't work. And he ended up getting, like, mean-spirited or something horrible like that, so it didn't work out. So here's Lyra and, Eldrick and, Didrik showing up. And I didn't get a thing of her tossing her diploma, because the goofball went out the wrong entrance, and I wasn't even watching that entrance. So she's just saying hi to the kids, and if Twyla showed up, I never saw her. And here she is going home. Her trait that she got, I changed it to animal lover, and this was just a cool vampire girl, and I did end up moving her to Twinbrook. Okay, so for real, we're done now. Okay, bye-bye.